आपकी आवाज आएगी तो पता चलेगा। गुड इवनिंग कमलदीप जी। This is why, ladies and gentlemen, I request you all people to get into the room maximum by 5:55. 5:45 we are sitting here, me and Dr. Margikar, and still the people are also saying the same thing, that I am not able to join in. The link is not working. How can it be that the link is not working when there are so many people already there in the group? Anyway, within a minute, I will be starting now without wasting more time, because we have got restricted time. Although this is paid Zoom platform, which might be giving me hours and hours, but you people being ladies also, you have to work back at home in the kitchen, preparing for the dinner, and then certainly 1 past 6, I will start. The first part is Bloom's taxonomy. The second part we will be conducting, and I request each and everybody, please, with folded hands, whenever we come on a public platform like this one, we must be properly dressed. That doesn't look nice because the ladies are also there. Kamaldeep ji has also joined, and this doesn't look nice. I'm not pointing out anybody, but certainly it doesn't look nice when ladies are also there, and we have to be very much careful to maintain the quorum. So let me start, Dr. Markikar, if you allow me now, because every time we just put on most of
Yes,
the
yes, you
time.
can, because I'm traveling, so it's shaking all the time.
This is one
Yeah,
past
we are
6.
ready to go.
Shall I start?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can put off your videos if you want, but preferably now I believe so that everybody is visible, everybody can see my screen. If anybody can unmute yourself and share if you can see my screen. Just say yes, because there are 32
Yes, sir.
people, 31
Yes,
people.
sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
very
It is
much, ma'am.
visible.
Thank you very much. Now let us start. See the Bloom's taxonomy for questioning as well as assessment. This is very much important because now the annual examinations are over, and we all will be moving into the next session, starting with the first term or the internal assessment, the class test, the oral test, and next one, my webinar will be on anecdotal records for the internal assessment also. That will also help you as per the Bloom's taxonomy. So if you master this particular module, the Bloom's taxonomy for questioning, then certainly you will be able to nicely handle that anecdotal records also during the questioning and during your observation, because that is an observation tool. What you have to do and how you have to note down will be much boosted if you have mastery over the Bloom's taxonomy. Now I start is Dr. Benjamin Bloom. He was the, rather say, the master trainer, the or educational scientist, I will say. He was educational scientist behind discovering and framing and outlining this particular part of educational tools, that is taxonomy. And Bloom's taxonomy is so much wide that now it can be utilized in hundreds and hundreds of applications related to the assessment, related to the questioning, and related to paper making, a number of other things also. In the higher education level also, the people are getting doctorate on taxonomy, educational taxonomy. And particularly this Bloom's taxonomy is the foundation of all type of taxonomy so far available in the field. Now you see Bloom's taxonomy is basically starting from the foundational step, and it is designed for developing your this skill for questioning from the lowest level to the highest level, that is what we call high order thinking skills. And this is by providing a hierarchy of levels, designing them, crafting them, and providing feedback on the student. Feedback also can be done on the basis of Bloom's taxonomy. The marvelous part is that designing can also be done, crafting of question paper can also be done, providing feedback can also be done, and then once we cross one level of hierarchy, that is hierarchy of levels of expertise, we move on and on and on, and so that in the last we reach the highest order of Bloom's taxonomy, that is thinking. Now over here, there are 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Starting from the lowest one is knowledge. The second level is comprehension. The third level is application, then analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The modern educationists have swapped last two one. They evaluate first and then synthesize later on. But that depends upon what your expertise and up to what level you have got expertise in this particular taxonomy for questioner. For remembering purpose, the levels of this hierarchical level of taxonomy, I have written K Ka Se. K, that is knowledge, C double A, that is K Ka Se, which means knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and then finally evaluation. Now let us start one by one, that is knowledge. Yeah, here it is now. You see the child, even we, Mohanji, welcome. Even here also in the first level, that is knowledge level, what we do is that what we memorized previously, that was the material learned, not by understanding the concept, because there is no concept over here. Over here is the rote knowledge, the raw knowledge. When did India get independence? So there is no point understanding this because there is nothing to understand. We straight away answer this question, 1947. But in the higher orders, when we go with this question, then how do you relate 1947? What are the evidences, or what are the particular material available to supplement your answer that we got independence on the midnight of 1947, 15th of August, 14, 15th, midnight. 14th and 15th intervening night, we got independence. On 14th, Pakistan was made, and 15th morning, we were free and out of the clutches of English monarchy. Now in this, the keywords are who, what, where, when, how, define, label, show, select, recall, relate, tell, such of the things. There is no need of understanding. A for apple, if you show this apple in the pre-primary nursery section, they will remember it for life. You show them their diagrams, handouts, charts, flashcards. You show everything on this, and therefore they keep on remembering the things. Who is your father? What is the name of your father? Where is the capital of India? how is, can, who was. These type of questions are there. The keywords, that is, you can frame now. Without understanding, you carry on with the basic questions, that is fundamental, the first order or first level of expertise, that is one mark question, one word question, or one sentence maximum. Now, same question can be put at this level. The same question can be put in different ways. Say, for example, who is your father? The same question with the next what? What is your father's name? Then certainly the answer will be same. And if the child is given the practice in the first level, then certainly they will be remembering it for a longer time. The next, assessment. Match character names with the pictures on the of the characters. You give on a sheet of paper, you give 6 or 5 names and 6 or 5 diagrams or pictures or images, and then ask the child to just make lines to connect. A for apple, B for boat, C for catch, B for bowl, D for dog. Similarly, carry on this. List the main characteristics. You give them a poster in the higher class, a little bit higher, say first or second. List the main character of one of the main characters in a wanted poster. Of course, it is not good to give the image or the poster form, but you can put any type of picture, a number of images, a number of photographs of the teachers. Find out your class teacher, find out your English language teacher, find out your mathematics teacher, so on and so forth. Or say, for example, the means of transport. And then you say, which one travel, which one can move through air? Helicopter is there, aeroplane is there, air balloon is there, skiing, gliding is also there. So these type of questions can be assessed on these type of things, these type of questions and assessment. The second level is comprehension, where now the keywords which you will be using in framing the questions is classify, outline, demonstrate, compare, interpret, explain. Just only one mark question or one sentence or one word. How would you compare water and ice? The child will write what? Water is liquid, ice is solid. At the lowest level, that is second lowest level. Some sentences, class 2, class 3, up to this level, they can write or comprehend what exactly is to be written. How would you rephrase the meaning of such thing? Sky is blue. The sea water seems to be blue. You give them an image or a photograph, and you can ask, can you explain what is happening? Say, for example, there are boats, some people sitting on the boat, and it is midway in the river. You show that diagram. Some children can write, the people are crossing the river. Some people from Kerala, can write, there is a boat race going on. So on and so forth, depending upon how they visualize that particular image in their own memory, and then comprehend that, put them up in the sentence. Now, assessment of these type of the second level is interpret picture of scenes from the story or the art print. You give them a photograph or image or diagram, and then interpret picture. Say, for example, a farmer is plowing his field. So you can just show that picture. What can you see in this photograph? The children may write, we can see two bulls, one gentleman, field, trees, birds, or if they are not very much having wide knowledge, then certainly they can put it up as I can see an animal in the field, in the picture, not in the field even, because their level of development is still in the lower stage. So they can put it like that. I can see a man. Instead of writing farmer, he can write man, and that has to be correct. That is to be marked as correct. Give them a series, comic strip में से. Out of comic strip, you give them a series and take out one of the slides. What happens next? Between these two slides, what might have happened? The left-hand side one is showing people sitting in the boat. The boat is at the corner or the edge of the river. One is missing, and then second one, the next one, next to the missing slide, is an empty boat. Same location, same situation, but the people are missing. Now, what you can interpret out of this? Some may write the people have deboarded. Some students can write the people have drowned. And both are to be marked correct because they are missing. In any case, there are no people sitting in the boat. So in both the cases, this is correct. You just give them a timeline and then ask them to construct a pictorial timeline. A man is going to market with his dog, reaches the market. So 3-4 diagrams they have to draw and very raw. Now the next one is the third level is application. Now in this, whatsoever they have gained, the knowledge they have gained on the first level, that is knowledge. The second part is comprehension. Now they know what exactly is my belief, what I have in my storeroom of knowledge. The second part comes is they comprehend now. They can write short sentences, small sentences. They can use single words also to express their thinking, what they comprehend out of that. The third part is now combining first two levels. They apply this into their interpretation of the questions. Say, for example, you have given them an air pump, and you use, how would you use and show them an air pump? One who is a football player will certainly write, I can fill air in my football. The second one can write, who is going to celebrate birthday that evening. He may write, I will use this pump to fill up my balloons. The third one, who is going to market for the grocery purchase, can write, I will use this pump to fill in the air in my cycle tires. So how do they comprehend? They apply that particular knowledge, and that way they have got the concept exactly what these first two levels have given them, understanding of the concept. Now they apply out over here. How would you organize that to show your understanding? I'm just asking the students. I give them 3 things: one apple, one knife, one chopper, one mixer, one blender, curd, mango, and milk. Now, how would you organize to show what exactly has to happen? Knife, he will write, understanding this particular concept up to class 3 or 4. Knife can be used to cut apple. Blender can be used to make mango shake. So on and so forth, whatsoever they love, they like, and they have got images in their mind from the first two levels. Certainly, they will put it on the papers. But the thing is that kid, right from here, in the pre-primary classes where we start giving them a pen or pencil in their hands, first give them the conceptual knowledge, the foundational knowledge, which generally is missing in the public, so-called public school system. I have seen a number of schools where the names are written international school, SDV International, Fanana XYZ International School, and so on and so forth. International means you must have international standards. Then what is deficiency in the Indian system? First you adopt the Indian system, then go for the international or intergalactical or interplanetary, wherever you want to go. The first Indian system of education, which is very much foundation of our own culture, the values, the virtues, that is to be done, which we don't do. In the nursery class only we start telling them the rhymes, Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa. Why can't we make them understand the Indian concept in your vernacular language? If you are a Tamilian, give them the concept of understanding the concept in your local language. At least let them grasp. English is a foreign language. It might be international language, but not at the level of pre-primary or even up to class 2 or 3. But we are enforcing it without making them understand what is the meaning. And by the level, similar is the case of mathematics also, sciences also, social sciences also. And then at the level of 6th and 7th class, when the child starts developing his own concepts on the basis of previous knowledge and the experience they gain from the environment or the social environment or the cultural environment, then they start arguing, which is why we are now facing the parenting problem also, because we don't make them understand the basic concepts right from the beginning. And even if they are adolescents now, still it is not late. Start doing now and you will see the results within no time. Next is assessment of these applications. Classify the characters as a number of figures are there, images are there. Classify them as humans, animals, objects, subjects, things, or you can say vegetables, fruits, means of transport, all in one chart, and let them classify this. And thus, first they classify, so that has to be made them to them. The understandable thing is that they have to understand these things in their local language first, and then out there. Make finger puppets and act out a part of the story. Whenever you are telling them story, make the finger puppets, hand puppets, glove puppets, sock puppets. A number of different type of puppets are there, which are homemade, not to be bought from the market. You see, after 3 years of this slump due to COVID and now going back to the same model, it is quite difficult that we will be sticking only to the offline. We have to have the combination of these two, offline and online. Then certainly we have to combine these two, because we are now putting up all the efforts to give them education offline and giving them homework or project work online. Through WhatsApp, we are sending messages, but still they are not working independently. Independently means they can research, they can work in the groups, which still is for the social development, social IQ. This is now missing. There are different type of 8 different type of learners, the learning styles, because we don't imply, we don't apply those type of learning styles in our teaching strategies, and that is why they are missing now. Give them a story and ask them to first read that story, then you speak it out, the story, and then let them again read it. And now you ask them, how did the main character felt in the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and end of the story? What moral do you draw from this story? So these type of questions, when you give them, then certainly their critical thinking skills might develop. Say, for example, a man was going to the market and there was a river and there was a boat. The boat was full of people and he wanted to cross the river, but there was no space. Now, if you would have been there, what would be your reaction? How would you have reacted? How would you have solved the problem of crossing the river when you were not having sufficient armaments or sufficient resources in your hands? The person who is expert or learning swimming, he will say, I will jump into the river and cross it by swimming. The another one will say, I will take a tube full of air and cross the river. Depending upon their perception of problem and the solutions they might have at hand. Depending upon these two things, the combination will be coming into their imagination. Yes, I can do this. The fourth one is can say, ki I will jump into the river, catch hold of a hook on the sides of the boat and cross the river. The fifth one will say, I will sit on the back of a buffalo and cross the river. Depending upon their own personal experiences, they might have experienced in their such situations, they might have observed some people in their life is not that much spanned. A child of 6 years, 7 years in class 2 or 3, 8 years in 7th, 5th or 6th, they might have observed these things. But sitting these things in the subconscious. And when the problem is given to them in front of their eyes, those memories will again come out and they may come out with the solution. The fourth level is analysis. You see, analysis, the word, the people out here of belonging to the chemistry or physics, they might understand this particular word. Analysis means breaking down of any subject, breaking down into components, and then finding out the task or the contribution of each component in that particular whole, which means the whole will work with the part, those which are analyzed and kept separately. So in this type of questioning, the questions, the category, the words, the keywords will be analyze, categorize, simplify, distinguish, relation between, or conclude, assume, interfere. These are all the keywords written over here. What are the parts of a flower? Now we put on to the analysis, and certainly we put on them to task like this one on the same lines. The dissection, the animal dissection is now banned in the schools. So what they have done is now the botanical dissections are still going on. Dissect a, a flower and label them what they are: sepals, petals, and so on and so forth. Because I studied biology in class 10 way back in 1977. I don't remember all those parts, but still, sepals, petals, androecium, gynoecium, stem, and all such things. But the child who has analyzed by dissecting and analyzing these different parts which contribute to the formation of a flower, they can first, what do you think is can you list the parts of a poem, of a song, of a story? What are the different things which you can categorize once given to you? An image is given to them and they are asked to find out, classify them or categorize them. So these are the different type of questions that can be formed, and out here the assessment can be then identify the general characteristics of the main character. Let them be given a story. There was a story called Seven Dwarfs. I don't remember, Cinderella and Seven Dwarfs or something like that. Snow White. So identify general characteristics of the main character. Let's say, for example, there is an ad coming on the televisions that is of James, Cadbury James. A lady is singing, oh, and on the top from the roof, then there are the gems falling on the floor. Then the lady falls down. Everyone is quiet and stunned. And immediately then she, while lying down, she again started singing, ooh, and gems start falling down. The people refocus themselves from the lady to the falling gems. And then there is dang, 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 Cadbury gems, full of chocolates, full of Jack. I don't know what are the things they say after that. But if you show this ad for nearly, it is 30-35 seconds. Show them that ad and now ask them what exactly happened. What could you see? So they will analyze first. Cadbury gems were there. People were sitting in the theater. A lady was singing. The lady fall down. Still she was singing. Gems were falling. People were running to catch those gems, and so on and so forth. So they can comprehend now. The second part of this taxonomy, they now do after analyzing that particular advertisement. Now, in this whole ad, who was the main character? Each and every child will say, yes, that lady was the main character who was singing, because she made all the people attentive towards falling gems. She made the gems fall down to the ground. She herself fell down and still kept singing so that the people can enjoy Cadbury. So on and so forth. They can carry on and on with these type of stories and their interpretation. So that will be your assessment. And again, I am telling you, when you put these things, then anecdotal records can also be made. You have given them the advertisement, ask them to sit quietly and write there what they have seen in this. So they can analyze now. And you will be quietly observing an anecdotal records for each and every child you have made. I will tell you on the 5th how they are to be made on this basis of Bloom's taxonomy, your observations. Next is synthesis. अभी तक आपने देखा, whatsoever you have seen so far are 4 levels: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis. And now the 5th one is more important, when the comprehension part again comes into act along with synthesis. What would have happened if that lady stopped singing? Let now the students synthesize what happened. Cadbury's would have stopped falling. They would write that. Another child may say, we would have stopped listening the music. The third one will say, the people would not have got Cadbury's. So they now synthesize their own ideas and put them on the paper. Can you elaborate on the reason why the Cadbury's fell to the ground? Somebody will say they were hanging loosely, that's why they fell down. The second one will say the lady was singing, that is why they fell down. And they can comprehend. Now they are synthesizing their own ideas, putting into words, into sentences. Keep, and I'm telling you, whatsoever you have to develop, whether it is habit, whether it is values, whether it is mannerism, just only 1 or 2 periods per week are more than sufficient to make such type of habits or such type of things into, or imbue these things into the minds of the students. Right on the Monday, you just say, we will be having a class on mathematics problem solving. Give them a chart, draw a map over there. What would have happened if I start, how many steps do I walk? Make squares on the path. 4 horizontal, 3 vertical. How many steps do you walk to reach the destination? They will say, similarly, simply they will say 7 steps. How would you minimize your steps? Now over here, the synthesis comes. They apply Pythagoras theorems. We travel diagonally. 4 square plus 3 square, and square root of that 25 is 5. So we would now take 5 steps to reach the destination. So can you solve it? Yes. Can you devise an idea on how these things can be made to fall to the ground without singing? What would you do? Suppose you could also cook these gems. What would you do? Depending upon the values that have been developed back at home, some will say, I will cook and distribute to my friends. The one who has been taught to be self-centered. I'm not saying selfish. Mind the words. Self-centered and selfish. There are 2 different words having 2 different meanings. The dimensions are different. Then they say, I will eat first, belly full, and the rest of them I will distribute. So this is the second last step. This is synthesis. An analysis of this is create a story from just the title before the story is read. Just throw them the gems, lady on the port or the platform or the stage, microphone in her hands, people sitting in the auditorium, just still photograph. What is going to happen? Without showing them the story, ask them what is going to happen. A person who is very much interested in that show, what we call these Saturday, Sunday evening time at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, it is coming. India's idols, some singing idol are there. So the person who is interested in singing, the lady is going to sing the song. The one who is very much fond of story, because her grandmother, her grandfather, his grandfather are telling stories back at home at the night time while they are going to bed. So the lady is going to tell a story. A person, a child from political family will say he is now going to deliver a speech. Depending upon what the environment, the home environment they are coming from, and what are their personal experiences in all those circumstances. So they will tell the same type of story. Now, use your imagination to draw a picture about this story. Draw a picture about this story. Imagine you are the main character. What you would do if you were on the stage. So certainly over here now, the child will explain what his personal interests are. I will recite a poem. I will sing a song. I will tell a story. I will perform a comedy task. Kapil Sharma mein, he is very much interested in the TKSs, the Kapil Sharma show. He enjoys that show, so he will say, I will put up a comedy show. Depending upon how they have been growing, what is their home environment, what they are taught. Say, for example, Mani Kyambaji is studying, is teaching social studies in the classrooms. Am I right, ma'am? You are teaching social sciences.
No, sir. Computer applications.
Computer application. Let me see that only. So if you are teaching and a child is very much fond of Mrs. Manikyamba and very much fond of the subject, so what he will say? What he will say? I'm going to explain how a mobile app can be developed. He will say simple.
Yes.
Am I right or not? Depending upon
Yes, sir.
if he likes you, your subject, your way of talking, your way of teaching. And I tell you one thing, one of my modules is there also regarding what is in your personality. If you can write it, the question, and give me the answer in the WhatsApp group, I will be rather happy. A simple question, but you have to synthesize and apply all those 4 parts and then synthesize. What is the part of your personality that you think is most attractive to the students? Some of you will write my smile, my way of teaching, my subject, my way of presentation. Some of you might write the DO I use, the flower I use in my hair. Depending upon how you perceive that situation, why the student at the point of time when the school is opening, the students getting out of the bus, 1 or 2 will run only towards you and give you a flower. Good morning, ma'am. A number of them, when they come up, then there is a gossip in the staff room. I don't know what Dharni madam magic is doing. She is doing magic on the children that every child is running towards her and they are not coming toward us. What Jasneet madam is doing to the kids, that they wish her only good morning and not to us. To us afterwards, but first to her. What is happening? What she is doing? What magic? Try to visualize your personality part and write out in the group. If you can. This is not a task. I will be rather happy to see how you perceive yourself as a teacher. The next one is the last one, that is evaluation. You see, everything we have done, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, and synthesis. The last part is evaluation. Whatsoever you have done so far, the keywords over here will be choose, conclude, give critical, not criticize, I have written it wrongly. Comment critically on. How do you decide? How do you justify the act of? How do you appraise yourself? Self-appraisal. The question I have given to you is self-appraisal. To find out the most attractive part of your personality. Write it out in the box in the WhatsApp group and let me see how you perceive your personality as a teacher. And now evaluate. Do you agree with the action or outcome? Ask the child after giving them a task. What is your opinion of such and such thing? How can this advertisement of Cadbury's jams can be redesigned without ladies singing? A child may develop a story of Pied Piper of Hamelin. And the second part of that story, the Pied Piper came again back to the city, blew the pipe, and all children went with him. And he locked them up in a cave. The last part, locking them in the cave, is replaced by taking them to a bakery where lots of gems are spread all over. So that way this advertisement can be put up. Depending upon how they evaluate now. Do you agree? Do you disapprove? Why did they choose? Why did the lady choose to sing? Was she singing or crying? How would you rate the advertisement on yourself if you were in the situation? In that particular theater, if you were there, what would you have done? So this type of evaluate, judge, justify, appraise, support, criticize, disprove, influence, perceive, estimate. What inference do you come to? What inference do you deduct out of that particular, not particular that advertisement? Now I have given you the basic idea of using these 5-step hierarchical development of questioning. If everybody gives me, because the second part, that is rubrics, will be done after 2-3 days. I will give you a link. I will announce a day before when we are going to hold it. But I request you people that you people come online, check your friends' WhatsApp messages, but don't check the messages out here in the webinar group. There has to be a dot on that particular group icon. Okay, there are some messages, but you don't dare to touch it. I didn't see, but that will not be an excuse of missing it. I've specifically written now that whosoever attends the webinar will be getting certificate. Otherwise, you have paid for the training. I am giving you the recordings as such as possible. So if you are physically present, which means you are really interested in learning, and then I will give you the certificate also, which is mandatory as far as I know from the point of view of Central Board of Secondary Education to complete 50 hours of training in a year. Now the year is coming to an end. Within 3 days, you people might be busy in big distribution, uniform distribution, class distribution, students, and then timetable making, your own organizing, the first term that is up to May, up to summer break, first 45 days, what we have to do, what activities we have to conduct. You might be busy in all these activities. So certainly you people are also busy. Your principal, vice principal, coordinators, each and everybody, head of the departments, they are all busy about their own task, focusing on what we have to achieve in next 45 days. You try to put it up now yourself. What subject I have to teach, what I have to do in next 45 days related to that, what activities I have to devise, how I have to assess, what different type of tests I can go for. How can I utilize now Bloom's taxonomy for small short paper, 10 marks, surprise test. You finish a chapter, a unit, give them a small test of 10 marks. Out of these 6 levels, give them the different levels of questions. 1 mark, 1 question, 2 marks, 2 questions, 1 question, each one of them. And give them 40 minutes to write. whatsoever you have taught, whatsoever you teach in the first unit related to that, because you also, this is not only for the purpose of giving them a thinking platform. This gives you also to think about how I can frame a question to get the students involved in my subjects. Mathematics is considered to be toughest, but now how can I devise my question paper, and on the basis of that feedback, again the second unit, and then what the question paper will be there, and how I will modify my teaching methodologies or strategies I have to adopt. So with this, we have come to an end. Assessment, decide which character in the selection. I have given you the clue up to this particular point. I have given you all these things. I will stop sharing now and I will give you now 5 minutes, 7 minutes, still it is 11 minutes left. If you have got any questions in your mind, any question related to this Bloom's taxonomy in making question paper, you are most welcome to unmute yourself and then ask or put up the question. Anybody, or rather everybody is invited, but anybody can put up such question now. There are certain people who are there in the room in the beginning, putting up their attendance, and now off. Now think about this. You as a trainee are coming to this particular training to learn something. Some people are coming to mark their presence and then leaving. Now, if I also do the same thing, come for some time and midway I leave, what will happen? If anybody can comprehend this thing, this is sixth part of the Bloom's taxonomy. What might happen if Mr. Ajay Sharma is not there in the training? Comprehend now what will happen. We will keep sitting over there. We will keep wasting over our time. And after 5-7 minutes, we will start pushing the notice in the WhatsApp. Sir, what about webinar? What time you are coming? When we will start? And a number of my mobile will be full of such messages. Manikyambaji is smiling, just like a naughty child.
Yes, sir, really.
But this is not going to happen. But I'm just putting it up because it hurts. I'm putting a lot of pains to put up these type of things on the presentations just for your benefits. How many were there right in the beginning? 27. Now there are 25. Midway, it came down to 20.
Good
if
evening,
anybody
sir. This
has
is
got
Bharti
any
Bhaskar.
question, please unmute yourself
Yes, sir.
and
It's
put
the
up.
Bharti
Bharti
Bhaskar.
ji, yes, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. I was right from the beginning. Sir, the level 1 questions can be assessed. Actually, I'm a primary teacher, teaching from 2001. My teaching career started from 2001, and mostly I'm handling primary classes. That is class 1 to 5. So especially the class 1 and 2, they are lagging in this reading comprehension because they are not able to understand first and foremost. So what type of questions can be asked for them? Because they don't know to read the question paper. First and foremost is that one, because they are lagging in reading. Because of this COVID period, they have missed their pre-primary classes, so they don't know the sight words. So how can we enhance their reading skill in the question paper when they attend the exam? How will be they able to read the question paper? How we can enhance them? It is any tips for us?
Madam, what subject you are teaching to primary section?
I'm teaching English, sir. Basically, I'm teaching English.
That is good.
Yeah.
Now, just listen to me very carefully. For the next section, you develop your own curriculum. Completing 3 chapters will be more than sufficient for next 5-6 weeks. 4 weeks of April and 2 weeks of May. Fine. Before that, you have to have a question also. That is test paper, sort of thing. Once in a week or twice in a week, you develop your curriculum in such a way that you dedicate one particular period for reading exercise. Start
Yes,
giving
I'm
them the
doing that
practice.
one. Yeah, reading practice is done. So basically, I go with the sight words. Whether I'm
Yes.
for doing it in a right manner, I just wanted to know. I'm just giving them the sight words, some questioning words, some basic words which comes in the question
You
paper.
keep
So
on
I want the children to
you
be an
keep on
independent
your
reader.
focus on such type of exercises, and slowly
Mm.
only they will start developing their reading skills from their
Okay.
textbook.
Okay.
Don't give them any type of question from your own mind. Ask them to
Okay.
open the book on such and such page, and okay, Mohit, start reading first 3 sentences, first sentence only. Then same sentence will be repeated by second student, then third student, then fourth student. Now the second
Okay.
student with fifth one. You see, reading
Mm.
skills cannot be developed overnight. They take
Yeah,
time,
I know, sir.
a lot of time.
Time. Yeah.
One sentence, two
No, because
sentences.
whether we are lagging or what in our teaching methodology, or there is any new methodology where we can enhance their reading skills. So that's why I wanted to know. Because
Because we are
basically, most
not
of the
putting
classes
any
nearly to 4 to 5
emphasis on
schools,
reading
in my
skills.
experience, 1 and 2 children they find difficult in reading question
Only
paper.
one and two. But you have to focus on those one and two. They must also not
Okay.
lag behind.
Yes, sir.
Try to focus
Okay.
it.
I
And if
think,
you get any
yeah.
problem, you
The
have got
level
my
one,
telephone.
no, it was very,
Listen
I think so.
carefully, listen. If you get
Ah.
any problem throughout first session,
Mm.
first part of the session, you can talk to me
Mm.
over telephone. My mobile number is available with you people. You can
Yes, sir. Yes,
talk
sir.
to me. I can give you
Ah.
alternative exercises
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Mm.
anytime. Anybody
Okay,
else
sir.
who would
Thank you,
like
sir.
to ask
Thank you,
any
sir.
question related to this particular presentation?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hello.
Haan ji, ma'am.
Yeah, Shilpa Kalan here.
Your good name is?
Yeah, I just want to know. Suppose the paper is of Shilpa
Ma'am,
Kalan.
you are not audible. You just enhance your
Shilpa
voice.
Kalan.
Keep your microphone near to your mouth.
Yeah, my name is Shilpa Kalan.
Yeah.
I just want to know. Already, I typed my question paper. Question. Suppose the question paper is of 100 marks. So, what are the percentage as per level? Means suppose 100 marks question paper hai. So, how many marks for understanding? How many for knowledge? How many for creation? How many for application? That I want to know.
Madam, thing is that you have to devise a question paper not of 100 marks in the first term. But in any case, if we go by the percentage, devise a paper for 20 marks or 100 marks. First, you make the 100 marks
Hello.
and then reduce it down. The thing is that if we have got 66 parts, the first part must be given the maximum percentage. And the last one where it is comprehension, because the comprehension will be a little bit longer. They have to put up their ideas onto the paper, where they have to bring out their ideas onto the paper. They have to write down. So you give the maximum time and maximum marks to those type of questions, and minimum questions, minimum time to first part, that is knowledge. Comprehension, one sentences, 3 questions will be more than sufficient. 4 questions from the first part. Shilpa ji, are you listening? 4 questions from the first part.
Yes, sir.
1 mark each. Right?
Okay.
Then second is comprehension, where they have to write 1 word or 1 sentence, put 3 questions from there, 1 mark each. 1 sentence on 1 word.
Okay.
Third part is application. 2 marks, 2 questions each. 12 marks have been done so far. Right? The last one will be 4 marks, 1 question, or 2 marks, 3 marks, 1 question. 1 question, but maximum marks. You can put 1 question, 3 marks. 15 are gone. 4th and 5th, you can divide between 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2. You have to have your own wisdom. You have to apply your own wisdom. There is no structured given format for this.
Yeah, it's a too much disturbance is there.
Got a rough idea or not?
Yeah, rough idea I got it, but due to network issue, I could not get entire.
This
I
everything you
have
will
a
be,
talk later on.
I will give you this particular recording
Yes.
tomorrow morning in the group. You can see over there, just watch it for 15-20 minutes and stop. Then again 20 minutes, make your notes, stop. And then last part, question answer part, stop. And then try to comprehend what exactly I have told. Yes, Neha, you were trying to say something. Mrs. Neha Tandon, you will try to say something.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Sir, I have one query. Like, for example, according to you, what should be the weightage given to the grammar portion? For
Madam,
example,
again, I
as
am
ma'am
telling you,
has
this is
asked
your
you
own
that
wisdom.
out of. Okay, no, that is okay. But according to you, what should be the weightage, like 60, 40, 70,
Generally,
30?
yes,
60?
generally I say 30% grammar and 70% literature. 30%
Okay,
grammar
fine.
because comprehension part over here, which we have discussed, and synthesis part, which we have discussed, where they have to write themselves. So you
Right.
exercise 30% on grammar and 70%.
So in that 30%, this comprehension part will also go, right? Because
Yes,
that comes in the
yes.
writing part only, right?
Yes, 30% will go
Okay.
over there, where their own creation will be there. Their own thoughts will
Right.
be put on the paper.
Okay, fine.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Thank
Good
you.
evening, sir. Sir, actually, it is based on the subject, no, sir.
Yeah, that based
Categorization
on
of
the subject.
marks and
Like in,
yes,
say
because
for
we
example,
are
in the
following
computer
ICSE
application,
pattern. Yes, sir. We are
in the
following
computer
ICSE
application, you
pattern.
may ask simple question of 1 mark. What is the key
Yes, sir.
for
One word
or,
answers.
listen. What is
Okay,
the
sir.
shortcut for saving a document?
Control
What is
S
the
like that.
shortcut for printing a document? In the lower classes, we do go for this only.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And as we move into the higher classes, the complexity of the questions also grow.
Question.
They grow.
Okay, sir.
Make in the class 9 or 10, make a flow chart.
Okay, sir. Yes,
Make a
sir.
flow chart.
No,
And
based
then-
on the subject only, we have to divide
Yeah,
it.
that depends on the subject.
Okay, sir.
You are the master of the
Thank you,
subject.
sir.
So you are the best judge to decide what. Yes, Malini ji. Mrs.
What should be the
Malini would
ideal
like to say
distribu-
something.
Yes, sir. What should be the ideal distribution of the marks? Whatever it
Madam, I have told you there is no ideal distribution of the marks. Depends upon the subject, depends upon the extent of the syllabus you have covered. That everything depends upon you. So you have to utilize your own wisdom as to what extent I must put up my questions. To such an extent, you see, you don't have to write a question paper in such a way as to check what the child does not know. You have to devise or develop a question paper in such a way as to what the child knows and up to what extent, up to what details he can put up his knowledge. That you must try to devise. It is not like an
that is very-
UPSC examination.
No, that is true.
Madam, your
But,
voice has
my
gone
doubt
down.
is-
Put your microphone near your mouth.
That is true. Am I audible now?
Put your
Am I
mouth.
audible?
Yeah, now.
I understand that depending upon the subject and depending upon the portion what we have covered, but yet I have a doubt. Definitely, there should be some weightage to be given to the knowledge and then understanding level and then application level and then
This is
only
just now I
assessment comes, isn't
discussed
it?
with Mrs. Neha also. Ki you have to devise your own things as per your subject. 30%, 3 questions from knowledge. 2 questions from next is it is comprehension. Then 2 questions from application, 2 questions from analysis, then 2 questions from synthesis, or 1 question from synthesis, then 1 question from evaluation, and then distribute the marks in that particular portion. How many questions you get? 1 divided by those many questions. What is the percentage? That percentage should be given to the marks. Let me give you an example. You have got 3 questions from first part, right? Keep on adding now. 2 questions from comprehension, 3 and 2, 5. Okay. Now the third is after application, 2 questions. Then after that, analysis, 2 questions. Then synthesis, 1 question. And then evaluation, 1 question. So they are all together 11 questions. Now knowledge is 3 divided by 11 into 100. So what will be the percentage? 3 divided by 10 into 100 is 30%. So that exactly gives you an idea, rough idea as to how many marks should be given to knowledge, 30%. Then 20% to next part, that is comprehension. Then 20% to third part, application. Then 20% to fourth part, that is application. Oh, sorry, analysis. Then 1 part, that is 10%, but the time has to be maximum. Try to think about on those lines and then reverse it.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Depending upon your own wisdom has to work out here, because I'm not the expert of all the subjects. So you have to utilize your own wisdom. How you have to put up the question paper in such a way that you have to check how much they know, not what they doesn't know. What they don't know, you don't have to go into those details. You have to go into such a detail as to how much they know, what they know, and how much they know. How much they don't know is beyond limit, beyond expectation. Beside that notebook or textbook, they don't know anything. Anybody else would like to ask anything? Any more questions? I will put up this video tomorrow morning in the group. Of course, if you want, I have got your application or mail IDs. If you want, certificates will be done after the second session. But if you want, then the same video can be put up on your mails tomorrow morning, by tomorrow afternoon. I will try to do it as early as possible so that you can open it in your school laboratory or school lab or your laptop and then download it rather than on your mobile, because it will fill your all of the memory now, because there are a number of videos coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, then we conclude it now here and see you soon. I will give you a link to the next webinar. Most probably, if you want, I can do it tomorrow also. Just I am opening the chat box in the WhatsApp group. Yes or no? Yes for tomorrow and no for tomorrow. Or in the chat box, if I can keep it open for 1 minute. You just write very quickly, open up your chat box and write yes or no. I'm just taking a break. Just write yes or no for tomorrow's session. Tomorrow shall we conduct the second part of this session about rubrics. How to develop rubrics, how to make rubrics and utilize them for evaluation purposes. You can see yourself that after 1 hour of now my throat has dried up, but now again it is back. So now it is okay for me to continue for next 1 hour more, but not that much. If you have everybody, you just write yes or no. There are 24 people, there are only 16 statements now in the chat box, and I can't see yes or no. Please write yes or no in the chat box. If you think tomorrow, how can it be, Nehaji? I am audible. Yes for tomorrow. Malani ji is going out of station. Yes. Manikyamba ji, yes. Jasneet Kaur, yes. Okay. Mani Jyoti ji, Shivaji Mishra ji is yes. Bharati ji, Savita ji is yes. Kamaldeep Kaur is yes. Okay, man. Nivedita ma'am, I will ask Nivedita ma'am now whether ma'am is comfortable for tomorrow's session, same time or a little bit later.
No, I'm okay with whatever you want. Even 6:15, I think will be a
What the
little better.
democracy decides.
Yes.
You see, so much humble. All right, then tomorrow evening I'll give you the link. And Malini ji, certainly I'll give you this recording 100% in a part on your mobile. Then day after, certainly you will be getting all the certificates with recordings and other material related to Bloom's taxonomy, which I have got with permission from the authors. A number of them are there.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
All right, then tomorrow evening we meet the same time. I will give you the link tomorrow morning. Thank you, Kamaldeep ji.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
very
Okay,
much.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir. Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great dinner and good sleep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.